The Greenland White-fronted geese are our specialist species, I guess you could say. In the wintering months here we receive around about 1% of the global population, which last year was 184 birds. So there's about 85 Greenland White-fronted geese in the field. And they can be scattered quite largely across the landscape. We got really good view today. They were quite open and they were pretty close. They can often be really distant and disappear in behind sort of like the rolling hummocks and stuff in the fields. I suppose it feels like they're quite special because there's not many of them. It's a bit different to working with something like pink-footed geese, where there can be like thousands and thousands of the birds. The population's suffering declines every year at the moment. They're not doing very well on their breeding grounds in Greenland. They're turning up here the last couple of years with no juveniles in the flock, so it's quite a worrying situation really. What they're looking for is somewhere undisturbed to roost for the night. So water bodies in which they can hang out and not be disturbed by people or predators. They'll also feed at the roosts as well during the night. They're not just sleeping. In terms of feeding, they're looking for sort of undisturbed areas that are quite wet. They seem to like quite wet fields, and they like to grub up things like buttercups and bits and pieces like that. The field that I'm stood in now, I manage for them by cutting the rushes, and it gets grazed as well during the summer months. And so trying to encourage them to feed in this field. And then they tend to roost. One of their roosting points is the Ward's Ponds, which is where I do a fair bit of cutting in the autumn. This place changes. In the winter it completely floods out, depending on how much falls from the sky essentially, and this is really wet at the moment. So we're doing all we can so that they're in the best state they can be on their wintering grounds, and so that when they leave the wintering grounds to go back to their breeding grounds, that they've got they're in the right condition to breed essentially. We're doing all we can here to give them good feeding locations and good roosting locations as well.